dark match is hell on heels. Hi, this is Fabi, and you're watching Fab's Movie Reviews. Today we're going to talk about Dark Match. Now, I think if you follow cults or watch any kind of documentaries about them, a bunch of them have a reputation for being dangerous. Wrestling, on the other hand, is an inherently dangerous sport. Combined culty lifestyles and the wrestling industry during the 1980s kayfabe era, and you got yourself a movie with so many possibilities for danger too good to be scripted. Dark Match is a 2024 horror action film written and directed by Lowell Dean, starring Aisha Issa, Stephen Ogg, Chris Jericho, Jonathan Cherry, and Sarah Canning. It was released on Shudder in 2025. Dark Match is set in the late 1980s, and it's about a diverse group of wrestlers who get booked to perform in a remote and mysterious compound which houses wrestling enthusiasts with fanatical vibes. Away from services and away from civilization, seemingly, the visiting wrestlers may realize that the booker may have sinister and deadly intentions, but only after it's too late to escape alive, let alone with a championship belt. Real-life American professional wrestler Chris Jericho plays the role of the villainous cult leader named Prophet, in charge of the wrestling match, which actually functions more as a death match in the name of ritualistic offerings. Though he has his followers and his cronies wrapped around his finger involved in satanic rituals, Prophet is more interested in profiting from the distribution of snuff films, which, as we'll see, he's recording live on the ring for this show coming up with our visiting wrestlers. The main character, stage name Misbehave, is played by Canadian actress Aisha Issa. A stoic, statuesque wrestler with a chip on her shoulder, Misbehave is the heel, aka the bad guy, with a scripted and also a real-life rivalry with female wrestler Kate the Great. The tension the two ladies of wrestling have between each other functions as a stand-in for the racial tension Misbehave implicitly grapples with in her line of work. Now, it can't be lost on viewers that Dark Match kind of works as a commentary on the true financial intentions behind cult leaders, gurus, and religious figureheads. Prophet exploits his followers and his wrestling company personnel to become wealthy from snuff films under the guise of satanic ritual. The same level of exploitation happens regularly by many whom call themselves leaders or gurus or prophets in real life. I mean, there's so many documentaries of that happening, of people exploiting people's insecurities, all for their own personal financial interests. So, I mean, every horror movie basically has its basis in real life social commentaries, and that's where Dark Match makes a social commentary on religion and cults and things that exploit people and their money, their wallets. Many, if not most, of the scenes in Dark Match have a lo-fi, grainy quality to them to evoke the experience of watching VHS tapes in the late 1980s. But especially VHS tapes that have been recorded over and over again. A recording of a recording. So like if someone made you a videotape off of another videotape, so like maybe you're watching a snuff film actually. So it's kind of a little bit meta. The use of old technology in the set dressing includes VHSs, VCRs, handheld cameras, and there's no cell phones. So the movie's a time capsule for those who grew up before cell phones. And it'll remind us of a time when things were, we used to pop VHSs into a video cassette player to watch movies, or we recorded our own movies from TV. And this is what life was like, young people, for us oldies when there were no cell phones. So some of the heel turned protagonists have one last surprising showdown with a supernatural being at the end of the movie. And it leaves the story a little open-ended, unresolved. Maybe a sequel will be in the horizon. Whether intentional or not, the ending is similar to Black Klansman. Now, hear me out. The black protagonists in both films confront greater evils head on. So, like in the example of Black Klansman, the final shot, it's the two black characters with their guns pulled out and like they're about to take down like the police force, which are racist. Misbehave is about to confront head on a supernatural being. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's that's where the open-ended part of the movie comes in, and it kind of like leaves you hanging a little bit. A dark match may be a little bit harder to follow for those who are not into wrestling. Wrestling has its own lingo and lexicon. So I keep saying the word heel, that's a bad guy. And I personally didn't know what the word dark match meant. I guess that means a wrestling match that's not televised or recorded for to be broadcast on TV. So there's a lot of references to wrestling, and the lexicon is a little bit, you might want to look it up or look up things because you might get lost. So being unfamiliar with wrestling lingo will not make dark match unenjoyable. You'll still enjoy it, even if you're a casual viewer and not into wrestling, but it may leave a few micro tears in the spandex of the story. Dark match is suitable for those who can handle gore, those who can handle blood, bloody entrails, and a little bit of torture. It's pretty gruesome. There are a few story twists and there's a quasi happy ending, but not totally, still kind of bleak. Everyone is great in their respective role, so while I didn't go into all the other main characters, everyone does a great job, and you could tell the actors had fun doing this project. The wrestling showdown lacks glamour and glitter, but it is gorgeously gritty and a spectacle to be seen. I recommend Dark Match. It is available on Shudder. And let me know what you thought about it. Did you enjoy Dark Match? Did you hate it? Did you have questions, confusion? Do you want to see a sequel? Let me know. Until next time, happy viewing.